Welcome to African Teapot Podcast. My name is Exie.
And my name is Lini. Join us as we journey through Africa's vast variety of culture and heritage.
We explore issues most African families face, both home and abroad. Make sure to like, share, and follow this podcast. Join the conversation on social media and let your voice be heard. Hello, listeners and fellow Teapotians. Welcome back to another episode on the African Teapot Podcast. Today's episode is titled The Underrated Relationship. And just because I want you to understand the shade I'm going to be coming in with, I put in brackets friendship. That's just because I'm Cameroonian and I really like problems. So I put that there so you should understand that I'm going to be asking a lot of questions about friendship or from the perspective of a friend, right? Okay, that being said, how was yours week? I haven't seen you guys since the last episode, which isn't that long. It's not a month anymore. It's like 2 weeks. So how has it been? How did you spend your Valentines? What happened? Was it just a regular day for you or something special happened? Let me know on social media or down in the comment section. Let me know what was happening or what is happening during this Valentine season for you. And that being said, here in North America, we are celebrating Black History Month. So if you go on our social media, you see me on Instagram. It's all about the history and it's all about supporting each other and sharing love. And I don't think this is just for Black people. I believe to be celebrated, you need everyone to celebrate your uniqueness and your culture. So when people join us to celebrate, I don't see anything wrong with that. That's just me personally. I don't think a skin color is the culture only. I also think every other aspect of culture goes into it, and other people have impacted our culture over the years. So if they choose to celebrate with us, how far we've come and our struggles, hey, hands up in the air, and I'm dancing in the center of it all. Just as long as they don't turn off my centerpiece, I'm good. Okay? Now, that being said, we all know that we made a promise last episode that throughout this season, each episode is going to be inspired by true story or true events that have been shared by either you or me, the host. So today, our inspirational story is sent to us by Waleju. Waleju is from Nigeria but resides in Texas. And I'm just going to go ahead and read out what he sent us. So he said, I left Nigeria and my family 5 years ago for America for a higher education and a chance of a better life. While in school, my daughter got sick and needed surgery to save her life. To say I had the finances, knowledge, or emotional strength to handle this is an understatement to how helpless I felt, especially being away from my wife and kids for such a long time. My friend Ken took care of all the bills and even donated blood multiple times to save my girl. The debts he incurred for my sake, after all other friends and family members gave up on my situation, I can never repay. To keep this short, Ken, this is to you to say thank you, and more is coming to us. We are family for life, bro. And I thought this was a beautiful shout out for Valentine's. And when he sent that, I just thought, especially guys, celebrating guys, especially amongst us Africans, is so rare. They tend to just like internalize everything and be like, oh, he's my guy, he knows, or he understands. But it's when it's verbally expressed, I think it's such a beautiful thing. So I chose this and I thought it's going to be our centerpiece for today's episode. Okay, so now moving on to some of the questions that after listening to this story that Waji shared, I thought to myself, like, how appreciative he is of his friend and the lengths his friend went. Certain things just came to my mind. I'm like, why is it that our friends can tolerate bad relationships, toxic relationships, forgive rude and unfaithful partners, but when it comes to a friend, sometimes we don't give the same grace. Like, we are quick to cut off people, like just cutting off our friends. And I'm like, well, you could keep a toxic husband for years and years, maybe 5 years you kept him and he was really toxic, and your friend of 15 years did one mess up and you're cut off and blocked on all platforms, right? Again, mind you, I'm not talking about toxic friends or abusive friends. I'm talking about just regular healthy friendships that we have, where someone is really trying and loves you and really trying to be there by your side, and the 1, 2, 3, 4 times that they mess up over like 15 years worth of relationship or 10 years, you quickly cut them off, right? And I know someone will say, well, I can't really cut off my child like that. I can't really cut off my husband or my wife because I've made commitments. I personally think if you say someone is your best friend, someone is your friend or something, you are making a commitment to that person. So you can't just wake up because you're pissed or upset and you just cut them off and block them. And some people have this annoying tendency of like blocking and unblocking you. So each time you have a disagreement, they block you. And then when you meet them and all you have stopped being pissed, they unblock you. And then the next disagreement, they block you again. Do you know those kind of friends? And I'm just thinking, or you call them, they're not picking up. Like, it's like, really? Like, just some petty, childish behavior sometimes, especially amongst adults. I think that's unhealthy, and I just think that's really unappreciative for someone that has truly been there for you and is truly doing the best they can to be there for you. Because I see friends like that, family that is not blood, right? So it's like, most times they say it's like a brother from another mother. You know what I mean? Like, that's what friendship is. And some people are just quick to cut and block people off for the slightest disagreements they have. I've seen friends that are like that, like so shaky to prove a point, so shaky to prove that they are tough, so quick to prove that they are bad, bees or whatever it is. They have values, they have, but when you see them pursuing a romantic interest, they don't have the same values and they don't put up the same boundaries. But with you, they have all the walls up and everything, and it's just. But at the end of the day, you need to have their back, because that's what friends do. You see what I'm saying? I just personally think, why? Why is that the case? Another question. Why is it that some people call everybody they come across as a friend? Like, if I've supported you, just like what Jay is like appreciating Ken here for. I've been there, gone above and beyond, and then someone comes and maybe all what you guys do is play soccer. I'm not saying it's not important, but I'm saying, and you start paying attention more to that person, or you start saying, oh man, you got my back, or you're my friend. So it's like, I just come down to the same category as that person, but that person is probably doing less the work I'm doing. Maybe emotionally and physically, they're doing less the work I'm doing. So they're just there for exercising. But they are your G. But I'm here supporting your family. I'm supporting you. When like you're at the low, the most embarrassing things that happen to you, I'm there. I'm loyal. I just get called a friend as well. Oh, this is my friend. Oh, that's my friend. Sometimes people categorize people. Some people are not your friends. Some people are your friendly acquaintances. Some people are your schoolmates. Some people are your colleagues. Some are your bosses. Recognize what season your relationships are in. You can't take your school buddy and then you have someone that has been in your corner for years, so like can and do things like this, and you're like, this is my G and that my G. And then you have the tendency of not appreciating people. So many people can feel really undervalued with things like that. So I just feel like, why do we just lump everybody, even your neighbor, we just lump everybody under the category of, oh, it's a friend. I'm like, friends have differences. You can't just call your hairdresser your friend, like this is my number one girlfriend, and then the girl who's been there for you, you know what I mean, cried through boyfriends and everything, is also just your G, like it's just your babe. Like there has to be a difference now. Come on, there's a difference between husband and boyfriend and fiance, wife, girlfriend, side chick. There's a reason why there are differences. You need to differentiate. Anyways, this is my own wahala I thought I should throw on the table. Another thing, some people have a lot of red flags as human beings. I don't know why. We take lightly what friendship is, that you see people with walking red flags as a person, and we just go along with it because it's like, oh, I'm not going to veto this person. And I just think the same way when we meet romantic partners, we want to get time to know them, see if we have the same interests and things like that. Before you bring this person and start calling them your best guy, your best girl, whatever, take time to get to know this person and see if you guys are on the same page. No, we won't do it. Instead, what we do is that we quickly call them G's, we quickly trust them, give them all our secrets, tell them all our passwords and everything, and then you realize this person is a narcissist or is an abuser. Friends can abuse people too. So I think vetoing and knowing who you're dealing with is important so that you can categorize people. You won't get hurt and you won't undervalue the other people who are there and have been doing sacrifices for you for donkey of years. Of course, you guys know that's a metaphor, right? But anyways, I just think sometimes though, like as friends, we are just super undervalued. Someone comes and starts comparing two things and you're just like, what I've done and supported in your life doesn't even remotely come close to what this person has done. Maybe this is just a party buddy. This is a drinking buddy. I don't know. Like, you can call it whatever, right? And another question, why is it that when it comes to friends, that's when we want to prove a point. We want to prove we have boundaries. We want to prove we have standards. We want to prove like you are the baddest in the game. I don't understand it. That's another thing that I don't get. Like, there are so many things we would do in pursuit of romantic interest. There is a guy who would take a kind of rudeness from a girl just because he's pursuing her romantically. But if his dude mistakenly says the wrong thing, oh my gosh, that's like, the world's biggest deal has happened between them. Especially amongst females. I'm not saying it doesn't happen with men, but especially among females. Immediately, it's like the baddest thing. You're trying to prove a point. You have boundaries. But when it comes to a romantic interest, I don't see you putting up all these boundaries. It comes to a girl, oh, you're quick to call her out. You're quick to say this. You're quick to prove like you are better than someone. Like, that's another thing I don't get that we do with friends. I don't get it, but I thought I should ask. And I'm just talking about people also that have red flags. Some people are just terrible managers of all relationships. And so you, the friend that has to support them through each and every relationship, you end up being confused and you end up being the bad guy. It is your responsibility if you have a wife, have kids, have your friends, have your work relationships. It's your responsibility to manage them, not me. But most times, people bring in a lot, like you bring in a romantic partner and the romantic partner is abusing boundaries of your friends. You can't correct them, but I, a friend, have to put up with it. You understand? I have to put up with a boyfriend of yours who doesn't respect himself or doesn't respect my space. I can't say anything because if I say it, I'm jealous of that relationship or I'm trying to ruin that relationship. You know what I'm saying? Then I'm stuck in the middle. I really can't say anything and I'm sitting here. And then suddenly, if I start taking a step back, it becomes a problem. Why? Why do we do this to ourselves, friends? And another question I have to ask, why is it that when friends are angry with another friend, they can't sit and have a conversation? Lovers will disagree, argue and quarrel and fix it. Parent will discipline a kid will talk back at a parent to say why they're pissed. Why is it that when it comes to friends, most friends you're upset. Peter is upset with John. They won't talk about it. John will take it and tell Tom, a third party, and then now you're expecting the third party to talk or fix the problem. That's something I can't get. If that is your friend, just talk to them. Just talk to them. It's that simple. It's not that big of a deal. But I've realized it's crazy out here how when you're a friend, you necessarily don't know when you're the good. You kind of play the good and bad guy. When it's the girlfriend that is not right for that person, you put up with it. When it's the right girlfriend, you have your friend who's being stubborn. Well, you have to advise them, but at the same time, it's kind of not your business. Their family can intervene, but when you intervene, it's like you're not even family. So why are you poking your nose into it? It just becomes this whole cycle of confusion. I just think as friends, when do we get it right and when do we receive it right? Like, how many times has your friend told you like they appreciate you? And this goes to me too. I'm asking myself this question. How many times has your friend sat in public and like openly given this interpretation like you are their person, right? And how many times have you also felt like you're just lumped up with others in terms of friends, but you feel like you've done a lot more, like you shouldn't just be lumped up with like a work colleague in the same spot. Like, you can't just say, we are all friends like that. Like, you feel like you're in a different spot, right? I want to know what you guys think. I want to see if you have any other observations that have come up or questions, things that you've noticed in friendship. But I just thought I should quickly run through some red flags that friends may tend to have. In as much as we feel undervalued, there are certain things that we friends may have that could be a red flag that is causing some people not to appreciate us or to be a little bit giving us a side eye. Somebody who is friends with everybody. That questions your loyalty. That's a red flag. Someone who has no boundaries or doesn't respect the boundaries of their friends or of other people. That's a red flag. Something is wrong with that. Someone who chases superficial social highs. Someone who sees Christmas and forgets that every Sunday you're there for them. So if there is someone that throws really good parties and your friend is someone that likes partying or likes drinking, likes dancing, they start prioritizing that friend over you who's been there for the quality of friendship, right? It's kind of like you're there every day, so they don't see you. But suddenly this guy that comes or girl that comes very flashy, suddenly it becomes about that chick or about that guy. Somebody who is like that, sometimes you need to question that as well. Some people lack integrity and trust. There's some people that change their words. Like, they say something and then you hear like the next day they're saying something else, but yet they're your friend. I don't understand. They know the true story, but they won't tell the truth. They know the true story, but they'll embellish the truth. I think that's questionable and a red flag as well. Another thing that is a red flag, somebody who competes with you. Like, you feel like the moment you're getting attention, they have to get their attention. The moment they're succeeding, it's more like they want to prove a point to you. When they do something for you, they want you to be like grateful for the rest of your life about it. Or when they do something for you, they won't shut up about it. I personally think that's a problematic somebody. Asking and expecting favors, but very stingy with their favors or very calculative with theirs. Someone that when you do things, they are like, oh, thank you. And then when you ask them for something, if it doesn't necessarily benefit them directly, they would just prioritize themselves. Like, when you guys are, they just won't do things for you, but when it's doing it for themselves, they would. Or when you ask them to do it for you, it comes with conditions, or there is a lot of explanations to it, a lot of expectations to it. I think that's a problem as well. Another thing is people who slander others and gossip about their friends. That's a big, huge, ginormous red flag. And somebody who goes with the flow versus real thought efforts. Someone who says they're your friend, but you guys kind of meet up or you guys kind of talk when things kind of happen out of your control. So, and then they never really put in effort. Like, they would never really put up the effort to really come visit you. You know what I'm saying? Like, you are always the one initiating that or pushing or doing all the invitations. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's always you. They are really not putting that much effort. But they will be at your place if something kind of brings them across there. You know what I mean? Like, you just kind of feel like they really don't think about it. They really don't put an effort. They just kind of go with the flow. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think. Thanks for listening and make sure to join us for our next episode.
Follow African Teapot on both Instagram and Facebook for daily inspiration and motivation.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel, African Teapot Podcast.